Welcome. My name is Denise Cowell, and I am a Creative Memories Advisor. And today we are going to be working on the Noteworthy Simple Page Kit 2. So if you bought the bundle, you would have received them in a sleeve. You would have received the Simple Page Kit, as well as some extra exclusive embellishments. Now, if you haven't done a Simple Page Kit before, let's take a look at what comes inside. You will receive the instructions, a sticker sheet that will come with some borders and some some stickers, embellishments, and then you will get two pre-designed pages for your base. And the reverse of these are plain if you just wanted to use them plain, but they are already pre-designed. And then you'll get one sheet with all the numbers that we're going to cut out, and you can see it has different kinds of colors and papers on there, making it easy so that we only need to use 3 pieces of paper. Now, what we're going to do today is we are going to complete that simple page kit, and then we're going to do a do-over. And my definition of a do-over is that we are going to create another page using different paper, but create the same layout. Okay, so the first thing that I do is, you can see I have all the measurements on here, right? So I measure how the base, what the size of these base pieces are, so that we can create our second layout. Okay, so all you're going to need is your tape runner, maybe your repositionable, and your 12-inch trimmer. So we will put the base pages away for a second. Let's bring out this sheet to cut. And we're going to turn it over. And you can see we're going to follow the lines. So just going to line it up. You can use your guide to make sure. Sometimes when you cut, if you can, I'll cut the other ones later, the sideways ones. But sometimes, as you see where they're different color, you may have to take off a little bit at the end, but not normally. It's easy to do if you need to. I do always use my sight to make sure that I'm pretty much lined up there. And we'll cut this one, 4, 5, 3 and 4 actually. We're going to rotate this one sideways. I always cut the smaller ones first, not the big ones. It's harder sometimes to cut a 1-inch piece or a 2-inch piece in half. So I always cut the smallest ones first. I didn't cut them in order. So we have 1 and 2. Next thing we're going to do is cut 3 and 4 in half. I need to go this way. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. And see, there's a teeny tiny, I don't even know, teeny tiniest blue at the top. If you wanted to trim that off, you could, but you can't really even see it. And we're going to cut 7 and 8 in half. Okay, so our paper's cut. That's how easy it is. Let me get out my 13-inch mats. I still like using them to line up because I like lining everything up using my mats. We'll get out our 2 base pages. And then we will get out our instructions. And you can see here that we are going to put piece number 1 is going to go here in the middle. And it looks like we are going to be right in the middle. This piece is 8 inches, I think. Let's go. I took 8 3/4, so 9. So it's just going to go a little bit, so just below the 10 and the 2 there. Okay, so that is pieces 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 3 and 4 gonna go at the top. 5 and 6 will go at the bottom. And then 7 and 8 are these striped ones, and they're gonna line up down here. And then it's going to go This one will go at the bottom of that page. That is how simple this is. Then you can see in the instructions here in the sample, they have used the sticker strip. They've cut it in half and they have put it across the seam up here as well as in the middle of this blue piece here, and then just the photos. So there's two 4x6 photos, and there is four 5.5x4 photos that are going to go in here. And then you can use the embellishments as they show. There are some, you can use as titles. You can use the exclusive if you got those. You can use these on your page. But that's how quick this page is to complete using the Simple Page Kit. And this is Simple Page Kit number 2. And I will post my completed page without pictures in my on my Facebook page. Okay, so that's how simple it is to do with the Simple Page Kit. So now what we're going to do is we are going to create it using another paper pack. I am using Copper Canyon, which was Secret Box in 2024, and I am using this for one of my vacations, so I wanted to get some more pages pre-done. So as you see, I went through and I wrote down all the sizes of the pre-printed page as well as what was on the background pages. Came up with some ways to do some paper saving. Now, this is a 3x12 piece here, and then this is a 9x12. On the right hand side, it's 12 and 8. Well, you can't get a 13-inch page, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld 2 sheets of paper together for my base. And I'm going to weld them to save paper, and I am going to cut them both at 3 inches. So for our base, what you'll need is we're going to get 2 base pages. We're going to get 2 welding strips, and then I will show you how we are going to weld them together. So we're going to get back our trimmer, and I'll just leave my pages here for now. And we are going to, my mats there. We're going to cut them both at 3 inches. Now again, if you wanted to do the 3-inch and the 9-inch and the 4-inch and the 8-inch, you would need another sheet of paper, or you would just need 2 base pages to attach it to. I'm trying to save a sheet of paper. So this is going to be cut at 3 inches. And the small 3-inch will be on the left side. The 9-inch will be on the right side. And if you wanted to cut them 4x8 instead of 3x9, you could do that too, as long as you cut both your base pages the same, so that we'll end up with 2 12-inch base pages when we're done. The 3-inch piece will go on the right, and the 9-inch piece is going to go on the left. So let's first of all weld these 2 base pages together. So multiple ways to do this. I just use some of the insert sheets. You should use regular tape runner on this. And again, everybody's got their own way how it's best to do these. You could line this welding sheet up. I'm lining it up because I know my paper's 3 inches. You could line it up. All right, and then you can put the other 9-inch sheet. You're just making sure it's straight. You can see I have a little bit, teeny tiny bit of the welding paper showing at the top, so I'm just going to cut that off. Always turn over to cut off. You can see it better because I'm a little bit away from the bottom. We'll just trim that off. So that is our one side, and we're going to do that to this other side. So if you look at the template here, we're going to have this piece in the middle. Now if you had a pattern on your sheets, make sure that these 2 sheets, or wherever you cut, the pattern matches back up, right? So wherever you cut, make sure the pattern matches up. And I didn't even check that first because it should go this way. This one really doesn't make a difference. It's not patterned. I always put the white side up. As you see, I have, like, because I'm using the insert sheet, you can kind of see that color at the bottom. The reason why, just in case something does show through, it's going to be white and you won't notice it as much. Another way to do this is, attach it to the back this way. first. Again, it doesn't have to be straight, it's underneath. And then I'm just going to turn it over, line it up. Then I've already got that one attached. And then just decide, line up this second piece. So now we've kind of pieced these two pieces back together, and I'm just going to trim this little piece off here. I'm going to go a little bit more underneath. There we go. Okay, so we have the two base pages. So if we look at our instructions, we have the part of the two base pages. Now the next thing, if we look at the pre-design page, it has this huge 7 by 12 inch piece across the middle. But in here, you're only going to see 7 by 6 inches on one piece. So I'm only going to cut one 7 by 6 inch piece that's going to be on the outside edges of each of those. So I'm going to use this paper that kind of gradiates to different colors. So my first thought was I was going to cut the 7-inch piece out of here, and then the piece 7 is 1 1/4, and I was going to use this piece. So I'm thinking, well, why don't I just cut it 8 or 8 1/4? Then I'd already have this gray part, which I've called A, and number 7, because I have a gradient, I'd only need to cut one. Now, if you're going to cut the 7 separate, you'll need a 7 by 6 of this gray, whatever the gray was, which I labeled A, and then you'll need something for number 7, which is 1 1/4 by 6, and that'll be the same on both sides. So what I am going to do is I am going to cut this to be, I'm just going to go at 8 inches instead of 8 1/4. So I'm going to cut this and pull it out. Make sure you pull out your foot. Now, if you're on top of your mats, just make sure that you're flat, because otherwise it will not cut straight. So I'm going to cut this at 8. So if you have a paper like this as a gradient and you can get both of those, then that would be great. So now I have 8 by 12, and I'm going to cut this at 6 inches, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So that is going to be here. And in the layout, it is 3 inches from the top and 2 inches from the bottom. Did I cut this at 8? Oh yeah, that would be, sorry. That would be if it was 7. So it's 3 inches from the top, and you'll end up at the end being 2 right there. Okay, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Basically at 2 1/2 and 1 1/2. Okay, so again, how I did that is this piece here, right? So if you look at this base one compared to here, there we go. It's going to be actually at 9. So there's the gray one on top. There's my beige one. And then this was how the original one was. Not with that one, sorry, with this one. And you can see, I made it 1/4 of an inch smaller. You can kind of see I've got the same thing because I have the gradient. So I've replaced the gray and this blue with that gradient page, and that's going to be on both sides. Okay, so we have that part, and that is our base page, right? That's going to be our base page. So now what we need to do is cut the other pieces that we ended up cutting from this sheet. So I need my 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And actually I have already cut 7 and 8. You will have to cut those if your paper doesn't go like mine. So what I've decided for 1 and 2 is I am going to use this copper shimmer paper. Okay, and this is going to be 8 3/4 by 6. So I am going to cut this at 8 3/4. And then this one will be extra, so you can put that aside. And then it's going to be at 6 inches. So that will be these two sheets, right? How it was here. So that's what I am creating here. So we'll take these two, and they will go, and it should be taller. So this one here is going to be at, let me just attach this one. I'm just using Repo for now. So let's attach this, and we're going to attach this. It's going to be 9 inches from the top because mine is already attached. It's going to be 9 inches from the top. Okay, this one also, so 9 inches or 3 inches, sorry, from the top, 9 inches on the mat. 3 inches from the top, 9 inches on that side of the mat. And I should have attached these, and this is going to be at 3 inches. Perfect. Okay. So now my copper canyon is going to be going in here. And if we look, it's going to go a little bit up. It's going to actually be, because I'm not going to attach these yet. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. It will end up being, if we put this in the middle, because we're going to have these stripe pieces on the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of lay them there until I cut my other pieces. But this is what I have so far. And you can see how we saved the paper, that we didn't go straight across because you're only going to see half of it. So we saved this amount of gray paper. We didn't need that. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to cut is pieces. Sorry, let me bring this back over. I'm going to cut 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they're all 1x6s, and they're going to go on top of here, on top of my copper canyon. Don't need a full sheet. I had a sheet of scrap left. Now I want my lines to go the same way that they had them, so I'm going to cut it this way. So I'm going to cut it at 6 inches, and then I'm going to cut 4 of them at 1. So you're going to need 4 1x6-inch strips. So let's cut that and try to figure out which one I want to do. I think I'm going to cut the 6 inches first. Okay, so this will be extra from my scrap. And now we're going to cut 4 of them at 1 inch. So again, I like cutting, when I'm cutting 1 inch, I always cut on the right hand side. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's take a look here, and we'll line them up, and I'll tell you where they're going to go. And if you look in here, it looks like this piece is actually lining up. There's only maybe a 1/2 inch at the bottom, and then we will have an inch at the top. So let's do that. We got almost an inch at the top and a 1/2 inch at the bottom. It goes a little bit past where this blue stripe would have been. And again, it's the guidelines. You don't have to be exactly on. And, you know, it's just giving you some ideas of where they can be. Okay, so if we look at this one compared to the Noteworthy Simple Page Kit 2, I think we have it. Other than I just did this gradient versus using the pieces 6 and 7 and 8. So if you didn't have a sheet like this, you would have cut this piece would be 7x6. I have that here, little note somewhere. All right, these are going to be 7x6, which would be this brown part, and then this piece down here is 1 1/4 by 6 down here at the bottom. I figured, why am I going to cut it when I'm going to just use it all together? So that is Simple Page Kit number 2 with a do-over. So I'm going to get these finished attaching, and I will get them uploaded to my Facebook group. If you don't follow me on Facebook, make sure go find my Scrapbooking with Denise, or my page, which is Denise Cowell, CM Advisor. Also, make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you for being with me today for Noteworthy Simple Page Kit 2. Happy scrapping. We'll see you all again soon.